This is Julia with iCadenza, and I'm here with Lisa Saffer, who is an incredible soprano, and I'm so privileged to be here with you.
Thank you.
And we're here at SongFest, which is a wonderful program for young singers and pianists. Can you talk about your involvement with SongFest and what brings you here?
Actually, this is my first year, and it's been very interesting and exciting for me. And what really brought me here was Amy Burton, who is also on the faculty here. And she told Rosemary, the woman who runs it, about me, because Amy and I have had the great privilege and happy experience of getting to work together as two sopranos, which, doesn't happen that much. So we have played Sisters, which we enjoyed, and I think Princess and Lady in Waiting. So that's how I got here. I have a great interest in and a lot of background in Handel, and so one of the reasons Rosemary wanted me to come out was to kind of get the kids excited about that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And how has your experience been?
It's been great. It's a lot of work. There's something happening every single second of the day. It's incredible. So aside from my own teaching, I just want to sit in on everyone else's master classes, and I've had to miss a bunch, and because I'm working. But they've been great. The ones I've been to have been great, really interesting, and there's fantastic young singers here. Some great, beautiful singing.
And you've had such an extraordinary career where you've sung all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Have there been any highlights for you of roles or stages?
Like probably many people, for me, the great thing is wherever I am at the moment. But that said, in retrospect, I had somewhat unusual career in that I really liked the slightly more unexplored edges of the repertoire. So I ended up doing a lot of early music and a lot of contemporary music. And I've really enjoyed that. My voice has been suited to it, and also my temperament is suited to it. I respond to musical architecture more than sort of very personal, emotional, sort of grand Italian opera is sort of not my temperament. So I've really enjoyed that. And I will tell you this, what encapsulates my musical life is that when I was a young singer, I was going to cover, and that means understudy, cover Lulu by Alban Berg at the Chicago Lyric Opera. At the same time, I was about to do my first Susanna in The Marriage of Figaro in some tiny, tiny regional company. I think it was Arkansas. And I had to learn those two roles at the same time. And for those two completely different kinds of companies. And that's pretty much my musical life in a nutshell. Sort of the highfalutin and the very difficult and the not fancy and more traditional 18th century rep. And those are still my two favorite roles. I would say Susanna is really the great role.
I definitely agree.
Oh, she's the girl you want to hang out with. She's a great human being.
For 4.5 hours or so.
Oh, God. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Usually by the intermission, I'm off stage going, why am I still singing? Why? What
is left to say?
It's a long opera. Well, and unfortunately for Susanna, her only real, what you might call an aria, is at the very, very end. So it's a challenge, but she's a great character.
Well, speaking of temperament, how would you compare singing opera to singing art song and the approach to those?
There's a kernel of something that is, of course, the same. I actually find, when I was young, I found it really terrifying to sing art song or anything in a recital situation where it was just me and the pianist. I find being on stage and funneling things through a character with a set and costumes and the whole thing to be a very, very safe feeling. I love to disappear into that. I have no fear when I slide. If you have enough rehearsal, you have no fear. I slide into that character. But it's much harder in art song and recital lit to stand there and it's you. Sort of unadorned. Just you and your pianist. And one of the ways that I helped myself to get over this was I started to think of it as just me, my pianist, and the composer. So there was this other presence, which really helped me. I felt like I was serving something other than myself. I felt there was a collaboration going on that was not just about me and my pianist, but this other person. And of course, that's true in any music you do. It is a collaboration with you, the forces around you, the particular day, it's always different, and the composer. Because the composer is the man, or woman, as the case may be. That's where it all starts.
Do you have any advice for young singers starting out today? What were some of the best things or some of the mistakes that you made?
I would say the business is always changing. So there's a lot of kinds of very practical advice that I don't think I'm the person to give, especially since I ignored a lot of that when I was younger. I would say, there are a lot of different kinds of ways to have a life in music. All from the tiniest little thing, like, singing in a chorus once in a while, to being a great big starry solo singer at the Met and in, big houses in Europe. And there can be wonderful things about all those things. And I would say to young singers, jealously guard your artistic experiences. It's easy, if you're going to be working in the business, it's easy to get sidetracked by a lot of other things. And it's the doing of it that is the joy. So hang on to that.
When you get on stage, how do you ground yourself?
Breathing. It's just that simple. In and out. Just keep breathing. And I'd say that's advice for life. Just keep breathing. Yeah. Whenever I feel jittery or nervous or strange on stage, I just make myself become a little aware of inhalation and exhalation for a second, and it's really grounding. Yeah.
And once that's done, you're about to teach a recitative class. So
I am about to teach a recitative class.
After that proper breath and
that's right.
Yourself, what do you recommend?
In and out. In recitative.
Well, what do you hope to take away from this class? If they take one thing.
I think if they take one thing away from this class, I would hope that they take away the feeling of collaborating with a composer, that especially in recitative, there's a lot of choices they get to make. Mm-hmm. It's not, because of the performance practice of the time, it's not all written out for them. So they get to really interact and really make decisions. Musical decisions, personal decisions, emotional decisions. I love it when young singers really start to be their own self and collaborate, because singers are talked at a lot. So I like it. We'll see.
Well,
should be fun.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Julia.
And best of luck to you with everything you have going on.
Thanks.